Japanese role-playing games have come a long way, with each title building upon the last to create a truly unique experience. From the introduction of unique battle systems that combine different attacks to a concept of building relationships with other characters, these games paved the way for the RPGs that we know and love today. Sit back, relax, and join us on a journey through the games that introduced us to the mechanics that are still staples in the genre to this day. To give you a sense of how these games evolved over time, we'll be covering them in the order of their release date. First up on our list is Dragon Quest, released in 1986 on the Nintendo Entertainment System. This game was the brainchild of Yuji Horii, Koichi Nakamura, and Akira Toriyama, and it introduced the concept of party-based battles. It may not sound like much now, but this was a revolutionary idea at the time, and it set the standard for many games to follow. In Dragon Quest, players control a party of up to 4 characters, each with their own unique abilities and equipment. Battles are turn-based, and players choose the actions of each party member on their turn. This was a departure from the one-on-one battles of previous RPGs, and it added a new layer of strategy to the genre. Dragon Quest also introduced many of the RPG mechanics that we take for granted today, such as leveling up, gaining experience points, and turn-based combat. But it was the party-based battles that really set it apart and made it a classic that would go on to spawn a long-running series. Before we dive into the next game, I want to quickly tell you about Maker Masterclass. The process of making money on YouTube has been completely gamified and has never been quicker and easier, especially with modern tools and techniques. Our course is specifically designed for gamers and to make learning about making money on YouTube as fun as playing your favorite games. With personalized guidance and weekly meetings, you'll learn all the skills you need to quickly make content that gets views. Get ready to conquer the game of life and transform yourself with Maker Masterclass. Visit us at makermasterclass.com to join our pre-launch at only $1 a day. I'll see you in class. Shin Megami Tensei is a franchise that has become synonymous with the concept of demon recruitment and fusion, which originated in the first game's release on the Super Famicom in 1992. In this game, players were not just tasked with defeating demons, but they were also given the opportunity to recruit them and use them as their own party members. This unique mechanic added an entirely new layer to traditional JRPGs, where players were often only given a fixed set of party members to work with. The demon recruitment system in Shin Megami Tensei was a complete game changer for the genre. It allowed players to engage with demons on a level that had never been seen before in a JRPG. This system gave players the opportunity to interact with and build a relationship with these demons, adding an entirely new layer of depth to the game. By recruiting these demons, players were able to create unique party compositions and strategies, building a level of customization that was not present in most other JRPGs at the time. Furthermore, Shin Megami Tensei's Demon Fusion system introduced another level of depth and strategy to the game. This system allowed players to combine the demons to create new, more powerful demons. Players were able to experiment with different combinations to create the ultimate party and take on the game's most challenging battles. The success of the game's demon recruitment and fusion mechanics cannot be overstated. The idea of building relationships with enemy creatures and then using them in battle was a game changer for the genre. It's no surprise that these mechanics have been adopted by many other JRPGs, including the Persona series, which is a spin-off of the game. The introduction of these mechanics set the standard for many other games to follow, and they remain an integral part of many popular JRPGs today. Final Fantasy VI, also known as Final Fantasy III in the US, is a game that forever changed the role-playing genre. Released in 1994, the game presented players with a non-linear story that offered multiple branching paths and no clear central protagonist. This meant that players could explore the game at their own pace, which was a departure from the more linear storylines of previous games. One of the most unique aspects of FF6 was its cast of characters. Each character had their own unique abilities and personalities, which made them memorable and helped players connect with them on a personal level. In addition, the game's villain, Kefka, was one of the most memorable antagonists in gaming history, due to his unpredictable nature and his descent into madness. The game also introduced new mechanics to the RPG genre, such as the ability to equip espers to learn spells and abilities, as well as the relic system, which allowed players to equip a secondary item to gain bonuses or special abilities. Final Fantasy VI was a commercial and critical success, receiving praise for its storyline, characters, and mechanics. The game's success had a significant impact on the RPG genre and inspired future games to implement similar mechanics, such as the use of unique characters and branching storylines. The game's non-linear story, unique characters, and innovative mechanics set a new standard for future games. Its impact can still be felt today and continues to be remembered as one of the greatest RPGs of all time. Earthbound, released in 1994 for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, was another game that revolutionized the JRPG genre with its unique setting and battle system. The game takes place in a modern-day setting rather than the typical fantasy or sci-fi worlds that were common in other JRPGs. This alone made it a standout title, as it broke free from the standard mold of its predecessors. Another way Earthbound differed from other JRPGs was through its battle system. Battles take place in a first-person perspective, and the player must time their attacks and defense with the beat of the music. This required a level of precision and skill that was not typically found in other games of the time. In addition to the unique setting and battle system, Earthbound is also known for its humorous dialogue and quirky characters. The game was filled with references to American pop culture and had a distinct Western influence that made it stand out from other JRPGs. The combination of all of these elements made Earthbound a game that truly broke new ground in the genre and set the stage for more experimental and innovative games to follow. Moving forward, we come to one of the most beloved RPGs of all time, Chrono Trigger. Released in 1995, this game was developed by a team of legendary designers, including Hironobu Sakaguchi, creator of the Final Fantasy series, Yuji Horii, the creator of Dragon Quest, and Akira Toriyama, the renowned manga artist. The game follows the story of Chrono, a young adventurer who travels through time to prevent a global disaster, and along the way he gathers a party of memorable characters. What made Chrono Trigger stand out was its innovative use of time travel as a narrative device, and the fact that the player's choices could lead to multiple possible endings. In addition, the game featured a unique battle system that allowed players to combine attacks with party members in real time, adding a layer of strategy and excitement to every encounter. The game's soundtrack, composed by Yasunori Matsuda, is still considered one of the greatest in gaming history, and the graphics were actually stunning for the time. Chrono Trigger quickly gained a cult following, and it's not hard to see why. Its influence can still be seen in RPGs today, from the way choices affect the narrative to the use of time travel as a plot device, and the way battles are designed to be more dynamic and engaging. The game has been ported to many different systems over the years, and even after 25 years, it remains a beloved classic that has left a lasting impact on the genre. Tales of Fantasia, released in 1995 for the Super Nintendo, was one of the first JRPGs to introduce a real-time combat system. Players could control their characters in battle directly, making the action more engaging and exciting. The game also features a skill system that allowed players to customize their characters' abilities and attacks. This level of customization and control over characters was new and exciting for the genre, and it set a precedent for future games to incorporate this real-time combat, as well as a more massive skill customization. Additionally, Tales of Fantasia was notable for its anime-inspired art style and use of voice acting, which was rare in video games at that time. The game was also known for its compelling storyline and character development, making it a classic of the genre. Overall, Tales of Fantasia's innovative combat and skill system, along with its use of voice acting and anime-style graphics, helped to set a new standard for JRPGs and inspired many future games in the genre. Fire Emblem: Genealogy of the Holy War is a game that changed the face of JRPGs, particularly in terms of its story and character development. This game was released in '96 for the Super Famicom in Japan and received critical acclaim for its innovative gameplay mechanics and massive backstory. One of the most significant features of this game was its complex and deep storyline. The game spanned multiple generations, with each character having their own unique backstory and motivations. The game dealt with themes such as war, politics, and betrayal, and players could make choices that affected the outcome of the story. This kind of depth and complexity was rarely seen in JRPGs at the time, and it set a new standard for storytelling in the genre. Another significant feature of Fire Emblem: Genealogy of the Holy War was its large cast of characters. The game had over 50 playable characters, each with their own unique abilities and personalities. This was another innovation in the genre, as most JRPGs at the time only had a handful of playable characters. The large cast allowed for more varied gameplay and allowed players to develop their own strategies for battles. In addition to its story and characters, this game also introduced the weapon triangle system. This system made combat more strategic, as certain weapons were more effective against certain types of enemies. This system was later adopted by many other JRPGs and has become a staple of the genre. Overall, Fire Emblem: Genealogy of the Holy War was a groundbreaking game that changed the face of JRPGs. Its deep and complex storyline, large cast of characters, and innovative gameplay mechanics set a new standard for the genre, and its influence can still be felt in JRPGs to this day. But in the world of JRPGs, few games have had as much impact as Final Fantasy VII. Released in 1997, it was the first game in the Final Fantasy series to use 3D graphics and cinematic cutscenes. It was a technological marvel for its time, with stunning visuals and an epic story that captivated players around the world. But it wasn't just the graphics that made this game special. It introduced a new magic system called Materia, which allowed players to customize their characters' abilities and spells. This was a departure from the traditional system of having fixed abilities for each character, and it gave players more control over their party's development. The story of Final Fantasy VII was also groundbreaking. It dealt with mature themes such as environmentalism, corporate greed, and the consequences of war. The characters were complex and memorable, and the game's plot twists and turns kept players on the edge of their seats. This game was also one of the first RPGs to feature a large-scale marketing campaign, with merchandise and tie-ins such as the spin-off movie Final Fantasy VII Advent Children. Its success helped to popularize the JRPG genre in the West and paved the way for future games to achieve similar success. To this day, Final Fantasy VII is regarded as a classic and remains one of the most beloved games of all time. Its impact on the genre cannot be overstated, and its influence can be seen in countless games that followed in its wake. Xenogears was released in 1998 for the PlayStation and quickly gained a reputation for its complex and philosophical storyline. The game was written and directed by Tetsuya Takahashi, who had previously worked on other popular RPG titles, including Final Fantasy VI. What made this game stand out was its storyline, which explored themes of religion, psychology, and identity. The game's narrative was influenced by the works of Carl Jung, Sigmund Freud, and Friedrich Nietzsche, and it featured a non-linear structure with flashbacks and dream sequences. Xenogears also introduced a unique battle system that involved combining different attacks to create powerful combos. This system, known as the Xeno Combo system, allowed players to string together up to 8 different moves in a single turn. The system was both intuitive and rewarding, as it encouraged players to experiment with different combinations of moves to find the most effective strategy. In addition to its storytelling and battle system, Xenogears also boasted impressive graphics and a memorable soundtrack by composer Yasunori Mitsuda. The game's visuals featured detailed 2D sprites and 3D backgrounds, and its cinematic cutscenes were among the most impressive of their time. Overall, Xenogears was a groundbreaking title that pushed the boundaries of what was possible within the genre. Its philosophical themes, unique battle system, and memorable characters continue to influence RPGs to this day. Persona 3, released in 2006, is a standout title in the Shin Megami Tensei series, introducing a new mechanic that would come to define the franchise moving forward. This mechanic is known as the social link system. This system involves building relationships with other characters in the game, both as a means of character development and as a gameplay mechanic. As players build up social links, they gain benefits in battles, such as access to new abilities and skills. This innovative mechanic added a new dimension to the traditional JRPG formula, providing a more personal and immersive experience. The game's emphasis on social interaction and character development made it feel more like a life simulator than a typical RPG. The game's success with the social link system has spawned numerous imitators and influenced many other RPGs since its release. It's a testament to the impact that this game has had on the genre that this social link system has now become a defining feature of the Persona series. Thank you for watching our rundown of the 10 JRPGs that changed the genre forever. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. And if you're interested in turning your passions into a profitable YouTube channel, be sure to check out MakerMasterclass.com. Beating the game of YouTube can be more satisfying than any game you'll ever play. So don't hesitate, sign up today, and start making your dream a reality. Thanks again for watching, and don't forget to leave a comment below with your favorite JRPG of all time. Maker out.